We mentioned yesterday, Cavs lost for the 5th time in the last 6 games, still in 5th place in the Eastern Conference, still only 4.5 out of first. Here is J.B. Bickerstaff on how the Cavs can handle this tough patch that they're going through.
Being a young team that's still trying to figure out how to win in this league, and we've talked about it from the beginning of the year, that, every game, every patch of games is a learning experience. Every test, every challenge that this group is going to be in is a new test and a new challenge. We still believe, in each other. And we believe that we're a good basketball team. But the hardest thing to do in this league is to replicate and sustain success. And that's where, the good players, the good teams go from good to great. And so if some of these losses bring us back, to the mentality that we've had of the toughness, the physicality, the scrap, then it's worth it in the end. Because, again, this is our process. And we are still learning, still figuring out. At this point, we're 10 games over 500. Our group has done a lot of good things this year. This is one of the fights that we're learning to fight through right now.
So, Sam Amico, a couple of things about that. 10 games over 500, again, nobody would have expected that at this point of the year. And the other thing is, teams know what the Cavs want to do. Now the Cavs have to adjust. So these are the adjustments that, after they took the league by surprise, the league's not surprised anymore. They know what the Cavs are, and it's a pretty good basketball team.
That's just it, Dave. They were the team that everybody had circled on the calendar as, kind of the homecoming game. This is the one we should win at the beginning of the year. Now they have them circled for an entirely different reason. Rival teams now respect the Cavs, know that they have to bring their best effort to beat them, know that the Cavs are the talk of the league. They don't want the Cavs to be the talk of the league. They want to be the talk of the league. So now they're approaching it. Opposing teams are approaching the Cavs with much more intensity, much more determination than they would this game's a gimme. So that element is gone. And the Cavs have to still look at it and treat it, as we've heard Isaac Okoro and some of the other guys say, they still have to get back to that kind of underdog mentality and say, you know what, these other teams don't respect us again. They think they can beat us if they play their best, and we have to show them differently. So it is a big mental challenge, emotional challenge for the Cavs right now. We heard, I thought Coach Bickerstaff put it perfectly when he said, every new challenge and obstacle for them is, it's a new test to this particular group. It's something that this group hasn't experienced before. So, a lot of things are being thrown their way, and we want to keep some perspective here. We do have to remember that it's probably as great as this regular season has been, and as fun for the fans and fun for the franchise. This isn't supposed to be the end game. They're not racing against some clock here. This is a team that has time and can use these lessons moving forward. When you talk about a team with such a young core, this is really just the start. So whatever they do from here, you want them to go all the way. But if they don't, this has been a great experience for them that they can use further down the road.
The other thing to keep in mind, how banged up they've been. I mean, Karis LeVert, guy they traded for, who we thought great fit, he hadn't played much because now he has a foot injury. Garland's been in and out of the lineup. Markkanen's finally back in, and that doesn't even get into Sexton and Ricky Rubio. So when you put everything together, give them a little bit of time. Let's see if they can figure it out. They've fought through a lot of things to get to where they're at. 10 games over 500, challenging, middle of the road, even a first round home playoff game.
Yeah, I think that the thing there is they have, had those situations where they haven't been able for guys to get acclimated with each other very long, dating all the way back, as you mentioned, to the Colin Sexton situation and his injury, and then the Ricky Rubio, and then we had Mobley out for a little bit with the elbow, and then Markkanen with the foot, and now LeVert with the foot, and Rondo with the toe. Put all those things together, maybe you could build a pretty good basketball player. But right now, it's just not doing them any favors in the sense, especially with LeVert. They really want him to get acclimated because he's a guy who can help you against these veteran teams. He can help you. He can break down defenders. They don't really have anybody other than Garland who's going to just take somebody off the dribble and break them down and score. LeVert can do that. So they really need him back, really need him to get acclimated. And I really think that this stretch that we've seen, he'll solve a lot of those ills, because when he's scoring baskets, the other team's getting frustrated, and then they're not, so energetic on offense. So I just think his return can't be understated.